Today we are going to talk about the roles of a special education teacher. Those include supporting learning, improving planning and practice, upholding professional expectations and ethics, and collaboratively advancing the profession. For supported learning, this is really just meeting the students where they're at. Every student learns differently. Every student processes information differently. It's up to the teacher to individualize the learning and to help the students really be successful. Um, Improving planning and practice. This profession is always going to change. It's always going to progress and grow. And really, this involves a lot of reflecting on past experiences, both negative and positive, learning from these experiences and improving on these experiences. Make better action plans, put them into practice, and perfect them. Upholding professional expectations and ethics. Really, this is just about being professional and appropriate, not only inside your classroom and inside your work environment, but also outside your work environment. With social media having such a huge presence in today's society, it's easy to have a parent or other educators see you in a different light. And sometimes it's not always a positive light that we reflect in our social medias. Um, this can have a negative impact on the school and possibly the teachers and parents not having as much trust or faith in you if you're putting out such a negative or more of a unprofessional appearance. In your work environment, you shall be punctual and presentable. Collaboratively advancing the profession. Really, you just want to use your available resources, seek out others in the field, other teachers, other educators, occupational therapists, speech therapists, physical therapists, behavioral interventionalists, paraprofessionals, even your own students. Really collaborating with all of these people helps the students as best as possible. Everybody's going to have a different aspect or a different view on how to help the student. And putting all of those ideas and views together can really make the best plan for your students as possible. Next, we're going to talk about dispositions. These include high expectations, respect for the diversity of others, fairness, professional conduct, reflection, curiosity, honesty, compassion, advocacy, and dedication. I myself have been teaching for a little over 3 years now at a nonprofit private special education school. I utilize all of these daily. However, there's always room for improvement. I do tend to reflect more on my negative experiences and kind of focus on the bad aspect of that. And sometimes I just need to reflect on it, learn from it, improve from it. I tend to be really hard on myself, and so I could use some learning, some growing in the area of reflection. Lastly, we're going to talk about personal biases and how they affect the students and the relationships with their families as well. Unfortunately, everyone forms biases based off of first meetings. These biases can be based on appearance, the way a person presents themselves, their speech, even their name, honestly. It's human nature. People make assumptions or biases, and then they act according to those biases that they formed. This can in turn lead to unfair treatment of specific students within a classroom, which can greatly affect the relationship with not only that student, but with the other students in the classroom and the family of this student. I actually have an example from my own experience when I was younger. When I was in middle school, I had this teacher. For the sake of this, we're just going to call her Professor A. On the first day of class, she did roll call as most teachers do. There was this one boy in my class, and when she got to his name, which we're just going to call him J. Smith, she kind of paused and she said, "Are you M. Smith's brother?" Of course, this person responded, "Yeah, that's my older brother." Professor A then kind of sighed and she was like, "Well, M. Smith was such a troublemaker and constantly disrupted my class, and I hope you're not going to be like him." Unfortunately, she had already made her bias on this student based off of past experience with this student's brother. And so during the school year, she would watch him a little more closely than the other students to make sure he wasn't causing trouble. Usually this kid was really good and didn't disrupt the class, but she had already made her assumption, so she watched him more than she did other students. This was unfair to that student. It could have made him feel isolated. It could have also, made him feel like, well, she thinks I'm a troublemaker, I might as well be one. Thankfully, it didn't, but teachers should just try to refrain from letting their personal biases affect their students and their classrooms. This is a great profession. I am super excited to continue on my career with it. And all of these roles and dispositions will just help further that.